Hello, my name is Shane Sterling. I'm a raw vegan transition coach and a health and mindset mentor and a detoxification specialist. And today I have a very special guest with me, a former client of mine named Danica Schultz. Say hi, Danica.
Hi.
And she is really my ideal client. I've told her this before because she came to me dedicated, ready to go. She had a vision. She was on fire. She knew what she wanted to accomplish. And that makes working together really fun. And she had a really great experience over the 12 weeks. We got a lot accomplished. So I wanted to talk about it, wanted to share some of the experience so it could be helpful for others who might be looking to do the same thing. So I'm going to just ask Danica a couple questions about our experience together and see what her words say. So the first question I wanted to ask was, what problems were you experiencing that led us working together? How long did you have these health problems, and what was the impact these health problems were having on your life?
Well, I've had a lot of health problems in the past probably 10 years with adrenal fatigue and on and off Candida issues. It's been a struggle, and after having my second child, I ended up with chronic fatigue syndrome and a bunch of viral issues and just a plethora of things. And I, thought I was leading a pretty healthy life, just being vegetarian, vegan, and I wasn't doing it. Something wasn't working. So it's been a long road, and it was hard because I got to a point where I wasn't able to take care of my children, and it was detrimental to my family and to my health and everything else. So that's pretty much what led me to you.
Yeah, and you said like 10 years. How long were you dealing with like chronic fatigue?
The chronic fatigue was the more recent. So the 10 years is when my adrenals started acting up. And that would be, I'd be down for the count for about a week, and then I could get them back up and going, and I would just ignore it and figure out how to deal with it when it would come up. That was on and off. Same thing with Candida issues, finding different Candida doctors, and then it coming back. But the chronic fatigue happened about 2 years ago. And that was after I had my second child. So that was the most recent. And I kind of went down with chronic fatigue and viral issues is what happened after I had my daughter. And it's been chronic up until I found you, pretty much.
Yeah. And it was like inhibiting your life. I mean, what was the direct impact? Like not able to get out of bed, like not able to make food for the kids? Like what specifically?
Not able to get out of bed, definitely. I mean, I could force myself to get out of bed to get my stuff together to get my kids over to, wherever they needed to be, because I couldn't take care of them during the day. So I could get myself to where I needed to be, but I had to come home and rest right after. I cut my work schedule down to 2 days a week because I couldn't not work. So I would, work 2 days out of the week to try to keep that going, to keep clientele and whatnot. And then come home and just crash out for 12 hours, get up, eat, go right back to bed. I would still manage to cook food for my family, but it was, they were living on spaghetti and, whatever I could do to just put food on the table and go back to bed. So,
wow.
Yeah, it was rough.
Sounds like a struggle, man. I think a lot of people are in the same boat. I hear so many stories of the chronic fatigue too. So a lot of people are dealing with that. Yeah. All right. The next question I wanted to ask is, with all of the health coaches out there, why did you pick me to help you with this journey?
You and I ended up having a mutual friend on social media, and I had been looking at other coaches, and I was toying with the idea and just trying to figure out who would be the best fit. And she had mentioned your name. She had done a detox with you and mentioned your name. And I went and kind of looked you up and watched some YouTube videos, and I felt like when I was watching your YouTube videos, the plethora of knowledge that you had and your delivery with it was resonating with me. I felt like, okay, I could probably do this process with him. And I think it was the videos and just watching your process and you being so open about your experience and your process. I felt like we had similar things going on, and I just felt like I resonated with you.
Nice. Fantastic. And so we did 12 weeks together, And I'd like you to talk a little bit about like what shifted health-wise for you in that 12 weeks and any breakthroughs that you had with your health in that 12 weeks. Can you summarize it?
Okay, breakthroughs. Well, we went through a lot in 12 weeks.
Yeah,
I don't know how to summarize all that. Okay, so the biggest one would be the breakthrough that happened at the very end. I mean, we worked through some stuff throughout that whole process with emotions and getting past some fears, and that, old fears, and anger was coming up. And the very first week I was ready to throw in the towel one day because I thought my adrenals were going to knock me down for months, and I was freaked out, and we got past that. And I think the biggest breakthrough for me, and it may sound minor, but for me, it's been something I have been dealing with for years, which is a Candida issue. And it's taken months to get rid of some of my Candida issues. And it came up, and at the very, what was that, 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks we were working together?
Yeah.
And it came up pretty big. And it was one small tweak in my diet and my choice of amounts of fats that we were incorporating into my plan. And it was one tweak, and within 48 hours, my Candida was 75% gone. And I think by day 4 or 5, it was completely gone. That was huge for me. I was like, I'm still blown away at how fast that.
Yeah, that really empowers you. That puts the power of knowledge in your hands. So you're not, at the whim of some Candida issue. You have the control. You know what to do.
Yeah, it was mind blowing for me. I mean, a lot of things were, but at the very end, that coming up, I was like feeling so defeated. I'm like, I've come this far. I've done everything. I've put in the work. My body's so clean. And how is this happening to me right now? And it was like, oh, we tweaked it and it was done.
I'll just elaborate a little bit that you were having higher fats to combat some of the hunger cravings. And I was saying, okay, go for it. Try the higher fats to, help with the hunger. But then the higher fats led to a Candida bloom. And then we had to tweak it back down to 80-10-10 and almost eliminate all fats just for a couple of days. And you saw the instant results of that. So really simple to understand that the higher fats in the diet allow the Candida group to eat on the extra sugars, and then take out the fats of the diet and the Candida has nothing to feed on and it goes away instantly. So that's really empowering to understand. It's mind blowing. And it took us getting through a juice fast and getting back onto solid food. And then, here's my hunger cravings to even get to that step. So right at the end of 12 weeks together.
Yeah.
And then the other one, I remember that week you were talking about where you had a lot of fear about your adrenals and, the chronic fatigue, like it was going to take you out. You really were up against it. You were ready to throw in the towel, but I just said, what's the worst case scenario? What's the worst thing that can happen? Make friends with the worst case scenario, basically. And then how does that feel? Is it a deal breaker? Are you going to throw in the towel? Do you understand what the worst? And that really seemed to help you get through. And by the next day, you had a whole different mindset about it.
Yeah, I was detoxing really hard that day, and I was exhausted. And that's when everything comes up. Usually, I feel like when people really hit the wall, it's when you're tired and your body is shot, and you are just having one of those days. All the fears come up. It's when you're too tired and you're too overwhelmed to be able to handle it. And it all came up, and you literally said, okay, so what's worst case scenario? Your adrenals give you fatigue for a couple weeks. I'm like, yeah, okay. I guess I can deal with that.
Not so bad.
And that's not what it was anyways.
And it didn't even happen. No, it was like the phantoms in the mind, so many phantoms with the detoxification process. The toxins coming out make us fearful, make us irrational, make us panic and feel paranoid. And it's really normal, and we're in the process of shedding layers when we detoxify so we can find our empowerment. And you found your empowerment. And it seems from my vantage point, watching you go through 12 weeks together, that you really have come out on the other side, ready to take on a raw vegan diet. Of course, we can't cover every single thing in 12 weeks. There's a lot more work for you to do. a lot more of the journey for you to discover, but you feels like you're prepared, like you have the tools and you're ready to take on the next leg. Does that feel like that for you?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
that's great.
definitely ready to carry on.
That's great. Well, I see you as a raw vegan. You're an incredibly strong, powerful person, and you have the vision of why a raw vegan diet is going to serve you in your life and how you can be of service with that. And it's really inspiring. So I appreciate you sharing so others can feel that potential and inspiration in their own life. That's really what it's all about, is helping others, you know.
Well, thank you for all of your knowledge and for being an awesome coach.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Well, thanks, Danica. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for helping with sharing the information with others so that they can have a glimpse into what it's like having a coach going through some detoxification. Appreciate it. And I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.